Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of the All-Star AD on the Educational AD Podcast. The All-Star AD is our new series featuring 10 great Florida athletic directors, all of them women, that are sharing their thoughts, their perspectives on challenges and issues that all athletic directors face. We're going to hear this week's All-Star AD guest, but first we want to give a shout out to our podcast partners, We Coach, Florida Coaches Coalition, Vital Signs Wall of Fame, and the Global Community of Women in High School Sports. These are 4 great organizations. You need to add them to your network. And now, don't hit that fast forward button. Stay with us for the next 3 minutes. Let's give our sponsors a shout out. You should be using these sponsors as well. We want to say thanks to Athletic Surveys by LifeTrack for their support of the podcast. Athletic surveys are a quick, easy, and affordable way for you to collect comprehensive data that allows you to evaluate and improve your entire program. Athletic directors typically only hear back from that 2%, the squeaky wheel parent or a frustrated student athlete, and we need to hear back from them so we can affect positive change. But we also need to hear back from the 98% that really love and support our program, and that's where Athletic Surveys comes in. They can create a custom survey that allows you to take the pulse of your parents and your student athletes. Go to athleticsurveys.com and see what they can do for you. That's athleticsurveys.com. We also want to thank Final Forms for their support. Whether you're an athletic director, an IT professional for your district, or a superintendent, Final Forms can help you prepare for your best season ever. Go to finalforms.com/Jake. Check out all the ways they can help your stakeholders, your coaches, and you. Talk to somebody who gets it. Go to finalforms.com/Jake and get started. We want to say thanks to Sideline Interactive, indoor scoring tables and video boards. Go to sidelineinteractive.com and set up a live web demo to see their tables and their scoreboards in action. Probably one of the best purchases I ever made as an athletic director was our Sideline Interactive indoor score table. Check them out today. Their products are outstanding and their customer service is second to none. That's sidelineinteractive.com. We also want to thank Hometown Ticketing, the leading digital ticketing provider to schools and colleges. Go to hometownticketing.com. They're going to show you how to set up and sell tickets online, not just for athletic events, but things like school dances, school plays, even graduation. And the best part, they're going to give you a dedicated client success manager to provide hands-on support every step of the way. That's every step of the way. Go to hometownticketing.com to get started today. We want to thank Huddle. Go to huddle.com and change the way you see the game. As a football coach, I used Huddle for years, but when I became an athletic director, I made sure our school was a Huddle school. And our coaches just loved the tools that they provided our teams, our athletes, and them as coaches that help them coach our athletes and let them compete at the highest level. Go to huddle.com and see why we believe in sports and teams believe in Huddle. Join the 6 million users and turn your school into a Huddle school. We want to say thank you to Wall of Fame by Vital Signs. They're on a mission to bring your school's legacy to life. The Wall of Fame is an interactive touchscreen video console that's going to recognize your school's top performers, both past and present, in athletics, academics, and the arts. But it's also going to help you tell more compelling stories to better engage your audience. Go to vitalsignswalloffame.com/Jake and check out their great products. That's vitalsignswalloffame.com/Jake. We want to thank Snap Raise. Go to snapraise.com and check out the entire Snap mobile family. Snap Raise is their fundraising platform. We used it at my school with great success, and so can you. They even have a program where you can get your funding before you actually start your fundraiser. Nobody else offers that. Go to snapraise.com and get started today. We want to thank Gipper for their support. Start creating custom content for your school's social media channels at Gipper.com. Use our podcast code ADPOD10 and you'll get 10% off. That's Gipper.com. Hey, welcome back, everyone, to another episode of the All-Star AD here on the Educational AD Podcast. This is our weekly series featuring 10 great women athletic directors from the state of Florida, offering their unique views on challenges that we all face as administrators. Our guest today is Mel Gables, definitely a friend of the show. She was on the podcast, and this is her third installment on All-Star AD. Mel, welcome back. And what do you have for our listeners this week?
Hey, good afternoon, Jake. Thanks again for having me. I really appreciate it. I love this platform. I highly encourage so many more people to participate in this because it's a great way to network without having to ever leave your office, kind of in a unique way. I kind of wanted to talk a little bit about athletic scholarships and athletic signings. If you look at the basis, and I want to say that I believe the statistic is 7% of all high school athletes play at the collegiate level. Now that's not Division One, that's not Division Two, it's not NAIA, it's every single level. Only 7% of our high school athletes play at the collegiate level. And when you have that opportunity to showcase your athletes at your school, I think that's an important opportunity, and a lot of people I don't think give it the credit or the significance that it really deserves. We have National Signing Day, and what is that normally for? It's normally for football, right? So everybody's National College Signing Day, football, football, football. But what about those other sports, whether it's male or female? We want to make sure that we're giving all of our student athletes the recognition and the accolades that they deserve because they become one of those 7% that move on to the next collegiate level. And so we had our very first athletic signing this year because this is our first year we've had seniors. So, I really wanted to make that a special event because that's school history right there. That's going to be in the history books. That was our first athlete to ever sign a full ride scholarship, and we had that. We actually held it during probably winter season for a softball player that got accepted as a full ride. So she doesn't have to, pay anything for college, and it's phenomenal. We had another student athlete, 60 of the $70,000 it cost to go to this private school paid for with an athletic and academic scholarship. It's beyond me, and so I want to shout it from the rooftops. I want to make sure that we are showing our student athletes that we care about them, especially at the collegiate level. Oftentimes high school could be the endpoint for a lot of student athletes, and so they're 20 years down the road, like, hey, I remember this one game in high school, they go back to the homecoming games, they go back to things, and they see that when our kids leave here and they've signed an athletic scholarship, I want them to remember that ceremony. So, I do a lot of preparation for that ceremony, and I try to hold it honestly during the school day because I want their peers to be able to recognize them. So when we had our softball one, the whole entire softball team was there. Well, she was also a member of our dance academy. So we even brought down her class period of dancers that were in that same class period with her in the productions. So, I mean, it was probably 50 student athletes just for this, not including her college coach, the newspaper, and the other people that obviously come to those kind of signings. And we have a new one that's coming up, and I decided to do a joint signing. So again, this is our first year with seniors. So our signings have looked different each time because it's a different experience. Our next signing event that's coming up, we are doing cheerleading, baseball, and football. And I think it's a really incredible experience because two of the three cheerleading scholarships are male. So, and that's not something that's often bragged about. Our cheerleaders who are male, and he happens to also be a football player. So it's a phenomenal experience, and I want to be able to showcase those student athletes. Well, when you ask what does showcasing look like, it's your school banner. It's a banner behind you that promotes your high school. This is where they're coming from. But I think it's also important to show where they're going to. Everybody sees them on on school, on TV, they've got the hats that they're choosing from. No, I want them decked out in the school that they're going to. I get a poster made of them, like when you go and they'll put you in a uniform and you take pictures. I blow up that poster. I make that like this is what she is going to look like, or this is what he is going to look like once they get to college. We do some sort of hors d'oeuvre or snack based upon the school's colors. The first one happened to be purple. We had purple grapes. We had purple colored pretzels. We had purple plates. You know what I mean? Like it's just unique, like just to really kind of go overboard with it because it is so special. And the parents bought me a t-shirt from that college. So I wore that. I didn't even wear my normal gear that I would wear because it's such an amazing event for these student athletes. And I want them to be recognized for the incredible journey that they're about to go on and the one that they just finished or are finishing up with their high school career. You get the parents involved, you get their teachers involved, obviously all of their teammates, and sometimes the parents that are they're not the parents that are the parent of the student athlete, but parents on the team also come to those. So I really try to make it an all-inclusive event. And of course, we include some of our sponsors. Hey, we're having another signing. Would you like to come in? Would you like to say words? Would you like to sponsor the food that's going to be there? Any of that kind of stuff, just to keep building those community relations with those people, especially the newspaper. I have been, at times where newspapers like, oh, we'll just take a picture and send it to us. No, I don't want that kind of coverage. I want that reporter there. I want them to see how it is. Now, obviously, if there's a conflict, I will do that. But I really want firsthand for that student to feel, okay, I'm being interviewed by the paper for this. It gives them a higher sense of self-worth because it's not just another day. This is a day that they are committing to playing this sport for another 4 years at a higher level than what they just competed in. So, I think it's important that we treat those signing ceremonies as another step and a milestone in their life, not just that they're signing a piece of paper and you get a little picture in the paper. I want them to experience it. We also record it, and I use our recording studio here at school. Our class that does these things. It's the Bronco Broadcasting Network. I'm going to give them a little plug. They've done our signings. They film our games, and this is all student led. So, it gives them yet another chance to be in front of their peers to show them what they are doing.
Signing ceremonies are so easy to do and have such a big payoff. We would do the same thing. We'd do them during lunchtime. We would arrange a date with the student athlete and their parents. We'd kind of leave, the invitations and everything up to them. But, we would handle, the setup in the gym with the backdrop and everything. And so many times, the parents, as parents can sometimes be a challenge. These parents would come up afterwards with literally tears in their eyes, thanking you for, all these things. And this could have been that pain in the neck parent, but it's a great way for the student athlete to wrap up the career and a great way for, you as an athletic director. And it's not why you do it, but it's a great way to score some points with that parent and leave them with some rainbows and butterflies as their kids going off to the next level.
100%, you often, I remember my signing with my mom, my coach, and my principal, and that's over 30 years ago. As a matter of fact, I wore this awful hideous shirt. So, but that is something I still remember. And that was so many years ago. And now when I look back at that, compared to what we had then to what I'm able to provide now as the athletic director is night and day. And, and our job as athletic directors, we're supposed to be here for the kids. We are here for the kids. We're here to help promote them academically and athletically, and I always include my kids' GPA when we're doing these athletic signings, because it doesn't matter how good you are. If you can't qualify, it doesn't matter. You don't get that opportunity to play at the level that you want to. And, and we do a lot of that promotion of our athletics, of our academic side of our student athletes.
Yeah. A common theme now, and I think the public schools are borrowing it. I won't say stealing from the private schools where I spent most of my career, is this idea of enhancing the student athlete experience. And
Yes.
that, again, that signing ceremony, it's that last experience that they're going to have. Hey,
Hmm.
let's enhance the heck out of it. Let's let them leave with the best possible feeling. I'm sure they all had a great experience, but hey, let's do what we can at that tail end for the kids and the parents.
100%, because that they're going to remember their last game. They're going to remember certain things. They're going to remember, like, man, all of my friends were there. And and once the official ceremony is over, I invite all the kids up, the parents, the coaches, everybody, and they take selfies and they in front of the thing, and and then and I'm like, make sure you blast this out on Instagram and put all this stuff, because it's so important. And within our views of social media these days,
Mhm.
and I know, everybody has a hashtag, everybody has an Instagram, everybody has something that they are glued to a lot of the time. So you want to make sure what you're putting out there is a quality product.
Mhm.
And that's what I want to do when we're doing these signings, to make it a ceremony where not only is the student athlete proud, but their parents are proud, the coaches that they're going there, the coach that coach them, and plus my administration. I want them to say, that's a first class act.
Mhm.
And so that's a source of pride for me, is I want them to be proud of everything that we put out in the name of our high school.
Just it's one more way, and you hit it on the head. It's just one more way to get your school out there and let people see all the great things that the kids, the coaches, the program, and you as an AD are
Mm-hmm.
doing. Great, great topic. Mel, as always, it's great to hang out with you. But if one of our listeners wanted to reach out and find out more about how you do your signing ceremonies or anything that you do at Davenport High School, what's the best way they can get hold of you?
Jake, the best way is probably through email. Let me give you my email. It's Mel dot Gables, Gables, at polk dash fl.net. That's the best way to reach me, and I would be happy to share some wisdom, share some insights, share a few jokes. Whatever your listeners need, I'm here for it.
And I can attest to that. Also, looking forward to seeing you at our FIAAA conference coming up here in a few weeks. Okay?
Yes, sir, in May. I'm hosting regional track, so I'll definitely see you there.
And I'll be there as an official. All right. That's
All
enough
right.
about us. Okay. For listeners, we do this every single week, every Thursday, another segment of All Star AD, and we upload the Zoom recordings to the Educational AD Podcast YouTube channel. We appreciate you listening. Come back next week for another All Star AD segment, and just about every day for new content on the Educational AD Podcast. We'll see you next time. We appreciate you listening to this segment of All Star AD. Before we go, we do want to give a shout out to our sponsors one more time. Huddle, go to huddle.com, hometown ticketing, Gipper, Snap, Raise, Final Forms, Athletic Surveys by Lifetrack, Sideline Interactive, and Vital Signs Wall of Fame. We only have 8 sponsors. All 8 of them are just outstanding companies. Check them out today. See what they can add to your department. Thanks again for listening. We'll see you next time on the Educational AD Podcast.